Hi everyone, it's Magdalena Wolf of Coins. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while, I won't deny it. The last 2 months have been pretty challenging for me, both physically and mentally. But I'm slowly regaining my sanity and feeling better. So I thought I would make this video because the last 2 months, as I said, I couldn't do almost anything. So anything that was already known to me felt, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I found something new. I found out that I can do something if it's something new. And it's not exactly a new thing because I grew up with playing cards. My grandparents have always loved playing cards. There were always cards in the house. We would play with them. I mean, as a kid, I would just look through the images, and I would also play with my grandparents and cousins. But anyway, it was something, very close to my heart these days because it reminds me of my childhood. But anyway, I've never really used playing cards for reading them, only for playing, and I decided I will give it a go. I did have a few tries before, but for various reasons it didn't work. And this time I really like the result. So I devoted a lot of time now to studying, reading playing cards. I used some books that I had at home already. Some Polish resources. Actually, this one is very cool. I actually didn't buy it. It was just in our house because there was a time when my parents were just getting books for free from the printing house. Anyway, so they got this, and this is actually, it was published in the 90s, but it's a reprint of a 1933 resource, a Polish resource. So this is a very traditional fortune-telling style of reading cards. And now I really wanted to explain a bit, because I use different systems for reading different ways. So, and I will be also interested how you do that. If you could please share it, I would love to hear it, or make a VR. That would be splendid. So first I just wanted to say, of course, you can read anything just as you see fit. For example, as the brilliant Enrique says, you can read candy wrappers or ants walking nearby, and you can just read them. And by the way, Kasia from Tarot Map has a great interview with Enrique on her channel, posted just recently. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. So I'm gonna talk about my choices, and by no means it is to be like your way too, if you don't feel like it. I'm of the opinion it's like you decide whatever you feel is right for you, especially with things like when your intuition is included, right? I read tarot more Enrique's way, so more like just looking at the pictures, not having too many predetermined meanings for the cards, more like looking at the story being created. And it's a fascinating process, so I love to do that. So this is how I use tarot, and also Oracle. Here I have, for example, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. I love it. Well, with oracles, very often I actually combine what I read in the guidebook with what I see in the picture. So if there are some lines in the description that like pique my attention, I will use that too. But anyway, this is very like an intuitive way of reading, and I use tarot and oracle for like topics like self-exploration, self-development, communication with the divine, dream interpretation, and so on. These are the types of readings that I would do with these decks. And then there is also Lenormand that I use usually for like divinatory purposes. So predictions, finding lost objects. I'm telling you guys, recently it's like, well, not actually recently, but there has been some examples in my life when really I wouldn't find things too easily if it weren't for the cards. I mean, I was desperate at some point, and the cards actually helped me, because I probably, you know, somewhere in my subconscious I knew where my certificate was that I desperately needed at the time, but I just forgot, and I was convinced that it's in a different country, but it wasn't. But yeah, that's a digression. So this is what I would use Lenormand for, like, yeah, divination, predictions, stuff like that. And I would say that even though I use it like this, and yeah, Lenormand is very, like, you don't go deep into the picture in Lenormand. It's like a symbol is like, it's like almost like a word or letter that has like distinct meaning, and that's how you read it. And it's also very fascinating. But I still think, at least for me, that Lenormand is more flexible. It can show you more things in more areas in your life than the way that I read playing cards. So, playing cards. I decided, so I had a few goes at reading playing cards. I tried reading them more like tarot, but then I thought, yeah, I have tarot for that already. So yeah, why use playing cards? I don't know. It didn't work for me. And then I thought, because as I said, my grandparents loved playing cards, but my grandma also used to read cards. She learned it from her mother, so my great grandma, and she read it the very traditional fortune telling way, where every card has its distinct meaning, and the topics that the cards talk about are very limited. Actually, these are the topics that most people who come to a fortune teller ask about. So it's like love, work, money, health, stuff like that. Okay, like the most important everyday life, the family life, home, stuff like that. So because these are so narrow, I was at first not sure whether it's attractive to me at all, because I was more into, this, and I still am, don't get me wrong. I really love to have tools for getting deep into myself, understanding myself better. But yeah, then this was a completely different avenue. And yeah, and I thought, would it be interesting to me at all? But then, as I said, I had this crisis, and I decided to give it a go, and I loved the results. So these cards are, well, the way I read them, this like traditional fortune telling way, they won't tell you all those details that you can get from other systems in the way that I read them. Again, it's my way. But because of that, because they are specialized, they are narrow, but they're like sharp as a needle. So they will give you really precise, accurate answers. I was pretty, shocked by that and fascinated. So yeah. Plus, I was pretty excited because it was kind of like a continuing family tradition. Sadly, my grandma actually stopped reading cards because of what the priests told her, that it's a sin and you shouldn't do that. And she's very religious, so I find it very sad. But yeah, I remember her reading. Even a few years ago, she still like read cards for me once, and I was so like surprised by her being very like focused and doing it with a lot of, you could tell she's done it many times. But yeah, a digression again. What else did I want to say? Yeah, well, this is pretty much it. I just wanted to like sketch the way that I use. Also, on the For Love of Cards group, on the Facebook group, there was recently a discussion about it. Like, how do you read cards? Is it like more self-development or divination or both? And then we started chatting a bit, and I wrote that I use different systems for different needs, and I would love to hear what's your opinion on that. Do you read playing cards at all? And if you do, how you do that? Is it for what purposes? And do you read it more like in a like modern way, or you use those more traditional fortune telling style way? And yeah, and also what I did was to pick one, because even like in Polish resources you can find different meanings for cards. Well, mostly we know that clubs are not the fun color, okay? Not the fun suit. Hearts are good, and so are diamonds, and what are these? Not vines, they're spades in English, yeah. But that there are various versions, and I decided, okay, I found a resource that I really loved, and I decided to stick to it. And I found that, well, this will be a little digression again, but yeah, please bear with me. I haven't made a video in a while. So I found that, for example, in this book, the author like showed the different meaning, because the base of this traditional reading is to read cards in sequences, mostly in pairs. So what does it mean if I have these two cards together? And there's the explanation in the book. These are really like basics. It's mostly like card pairs plus some little spreads. And, well, not little, there is one spread for the whole deck here too, but it's like something to get you started. So in that version, it depends whether you have cards like this or cards like this, okay? And maybe 8 is not the best. So yeah, like this or like this. And in the book that I found, and this really also has those traditional meanings, there are just some differences, okay? And the difference is also that second author, she uses reversals for playing cards. So obviously not all playing cards can be reversed, only some of them. So I'm using the deck you can, like my grandma used from 9 to ace, so 9, 10, the court cards and the ace, so it's 24 cards. I'm using from 7, starting from 7, so it's 32 cards, only 4 less than Lenormand. And yeah, so you have 7s that can be reversed, ace, some aces, not the ace of diamonds, for example, and 8s don't get reversed. Well, you could reverse some other cards that are not reversed in that version, but this is just what I will be sticking with, okay? So 7s, 9 of diamonds doesn't get reversed, but this can be reversed because this like little leaf here is upside down, okay? And then what else? Yeah, aces, 7s, and 9s, I think. But anyway, it's not important here. I won't be like explaining all of the system here right now because it's not a video about that. But instead of like putting importance into the order, also order is important in Lenormand, for example. That's what I'm used to. But she puts importance into reversed versus upright position. So it doesn't matter if it's like this or if it's like this. And I think this is exactly the same, like, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but this gives you more combinations, more meanings. And for me, for example, if you know me, I don't use reversals in tarot at all. So this is me here using reversals, you guys. In Lenormand, there are no reversals either. I use reversals for some oracle decks, but not all. So yeah, this is me here starting using reversals, but here it like really, really makes a lot of sense to me because I'm not reading pictures. I'm not seeing people upside down. That annoys me. But I'm reading meanings themselves. So this doesn't annoy me, if you get what I mean. So yeah, so there are basically these two ways that I found in those books. So either you're changing the meaning with the position of the cards or position of like upright or reversed. So yeah, this was my short story, not too short, but I hope you've enjoyed. Please share, please let me know what do you think, if you read playing cards or if you would like to read playing cards and how you would like to read them. And if you have any family stories, I love that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you sooner than before. Have a lovely day. Bye.